Hey guys, it's Jeff and my brother AJ here. Um, my buddy here bought another boat.
Not that I need another one. It not this one, but now we do have four.
Are you getting your purchase yet?
No, it's no worse than the one we did with yours. We knew the front deck was rotten.
We actually gonna fix this one like we did mine?
You damn Skiffy.
Well, no time like the present. Well, now it's time to show you guys the purchase. I introduced to you guys damn Skiffy. After further inspection of driving home, we realized we probably shouldn't have drove this thing 2.5 hours from Jacksonville. But here we are. AJ, why don't you tell us a little bit about what we got here, bud?
Well, J16 Carolina Skiff. We got the deck. It's over there. More to show on that because it's a little rotten. We knew that they'd go buying it, so we already fixed the other one. No big deal. Uh, somebody they were an accessorizing fool for a little bit, but the problem is they didn't prepare it the way they should have. When we got the boat, it had the front deck was on it. We had the console here, and the console had already ripped out of the floor, so it was gone. And somebody put this is MDF, like particle board crushed glued wood. I don't know what that one was there for. Maybe it had the fuel tank under there or something, but there's a battery retainer back there in the back. And we figured we'd just make us a better flounder gigging boat. We've been using Jeff's DLX 17 foot Carolina Skiff, and it works great. But it's a little bit heavier of a boat, and it's great because the two of us, we're not small boys. We get on the front of that thing after we redid that deck, and we can bounce, and there's no give whatsoever. So we know we can do the fiberglass work. That ain't no big deal. But what we need to figure out is everything we're going to do to accessorize this thing and actually do the work 100%, go the extra mile. So we know we got to fill these holes. We're going to probably get rid of these and do something different of a cooler. And back here in the back, we got on Jeff's boat, I noticed this on the DLX. This is depressed area back here, so that all the water that gets in, it goes back here and it'll go into the bilge. And we already have the boat came with, and we'll check it out, make sure it works good, but it came with a bilge pump with a float switch, so we can put that down in there. We'll just glass that back in as we're doing our work on our deck over there. But you can see it had across here, it had the live well, the two live wells that come from Carolina Skiff, and it's got your seat built into it. And they had a piece of wood there to hold it up because it was broke. One of the stringers had broke in it, so it depressed down in. That's gone. I'm not messing with that. We'll get us a removable one that we can put between whichever boat we decide to take. We already have inlet and outlet on either side we want to hook it up to, and it's not like we won't have batteries and whatnot. And we'll just set it up with alligator clips and get that figured out. But it came with the bimini top, and it's pretty fresh and new looking bimini top. It's got a little right up there. You can see this got a little tear, but I mean it's hardly ever going to get used because we're going to be using this thing at night. So while we got you, let's show you this here. So we had one of those nice $150 seat mounts on here when we got the boat with the seat on it, and that thing was big, and as soon as you went to move the seat, the whole thing would look like an ocean wave. So we knew it was rotten. It ain't no big deal. So we looked and we're like, all right, well, they accessorize this thing nice, got this here, and man, this would be nice to have. And then when you look at the bottom side of it here, you can see, I mean, it's rotten. It's just all rotten. You cut a hole into wood and you don't reseal it, you're gonna have a problem eventually. And who knows how long ago this was done, because the boat's a 2000, so who knows how long. I couldn't find any dates on this cover, But this will be our first project on Damn Skiffy, and we'll see if we can't cut this loose. And I'll show you some pictures. We'll put them on there and show you what we did with Jeff's when we redid it a year and a half ago. And in a year and a half, we haven't had a single issue. And like I said, you can see I'm no small boy, neither is Jeff. So our 500 pounds up on that front deck, you know, we can bounce a little bit and it doesn't move. Whereas, like, you know, this thing,
This one's not going to hold us.
you can already see it moving. So, anyways, this is our first project here. While we're doing this, we also have the seat. Let me grab that real quick. If you look at this one, we got, you know, there's wood in here. The wood's actually fine. I mean, it really is. But if we're going to redo the deck, if we're going to get rid of all the wood out of it, then we got to do both of these. And you can see it's delaminated from the wood, but it's not bad. So it's still a strong seat, but I figure, hey, we're already in it. Let's do it all. The boat being a 2000, we started, you know, when we cut into the floor for that bilge section area, we noticed that the floor, it's the braces that run across, they're all fiberglass. So that's an all composite boat. So it's got the foam in there. We'll cut that out, make that nice, glass that back in. We'll cut this out, we'll glass this in. And what we're using is this composite honeycomb material. And this is what we used on Jeff's boat with the, you know, the already got the lines cut in it. It's already to where you can roll it. And, you know, it's 3/4 of an inch thick. That's plenty enough for us to sit on here. On the ones that we have for the front deck now, and we're going to also do Jeff's back deck, and we'll show that in a different video. But we got the one that it doesn't have, it's not already scribed, it's not already cut, so it's solid pieces. So maybe it'll work a little better, maybe it'll make it a little stronger. Maybe this is the key, is get a little bit of flexibility out of it. You never know. So we're gonna give it a try and we're gonna see what we can do here.
Just wanted to get you guys up to speed. We've cut the back layer off the console here, and scraped some of this old wood out, because you got to get the stuff that really is bound to the resin, and you got to do some heavy scraping. It's pretty similar to what AJ's doing over here. What you got going on, bud?
Bring it in, show you here. We got, so you got fiberglass, right there. This is where the edge, where we're cutting it off, and we cut this piece out here just to show you what's going on. But you know, you got an edge there, right? But you got wood that it's still kind of soft, but you know, we're able to create that edge out. You can see there's fiberglass there, but you can see this little thin layer right here, all along this edge. You can see that thin layer. There's still wood on there. So we're trying to get in here. We're trying to scrape a little bit of that off, and we can scrape as much of that as we can, but we still have to go back and we're still going to sand it with some 80 grit. Last time we did it, I wanted to use a belt sander. You know, one of those ones with the belt sander you can put across here for carpentry work. I wanted to use that, and we didn't have any of the bands. So we used 8-inch grinder discs for sandpaper, a sticky back sandpaper disc. And we went around and did that. And what I want to show you real quick here, actually, I just noticed this when we were starting to film. We got water coming out of here. This thing's only barely sitting downhill, right? And the water's starting to move over to there. It's been inside for 2 weeks. And you see here, like this edge, because we took this loose, it loosened up all that water and it's letting it move around. And you can see just how rotten this is. I mean, this is no good. But what we noticed when we took everything loose, you know, here's the panel. There's no sealant whatsoever. There's absolutely no silicone, no nothing. No, I mean, 5200 maybe a little extreme, but there's no 5200 or even the, what's the other one, Jeff? 4200?
4200.
Yeah, so then we noticed there was a couple of block off plates for that, like that hole right there, where you can see it's all rotted out inside, right? And we noticed that we had it there. Well, the guy tried to do a block off plate, right, to cover the hole. And that would have been great, but there's no, I mean, absolutely no sealant on there. And I don't know what these are. These are some sort of plastic. Maybe they're like a PVC cap, and he cut out and he has a piece that's, you know, about, I'd say that's a little more than little more than a 1/4 inch. But you know, all these holes, every hole we put in our decks, we have to seal them. Have to seal, have to seal, have to seal. Especially if you've got anything with wood, any wood construction, you got to do it. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna cut along the edge all the way around. And I'll probably, just to make it easy, I'll probably zap a couple strips across just to make it easy. But what we're using is, of course, we're using a guard on here. What we're using is, we got this 045 wheel here, and we're using it on the grinder, and it literally just runs right along, and we're having no problem whatsoever getting it cut off there. So we'll get this cut off, and we'll come back and show you the next little bit and show you all the rotten wood and show you what's there. And that way you can see just how extensive the damage is of the spread. And I mean, you can see we got holes here, a hole there. You got the holes for the seat there. You got one little hole over there that who knows what that could have been. Something small went through, but we got rot everywhere. A little bit of wood that got wet, and then it just kept spreading. So anyways, we'll cut this off and we'll be back. So we've got the top cut off, and as you can see, it's getting darker in the day, and the sun's going down, you know, but we're trying to get this done as much as we can because we thought about it. We're like, man, you know, when we did Jeff's, we scraped a lot of it off that day, but when we cut the piece off, like you can see it over here, you know, here's the whole fiberglass, you know, when we cut it off of Jeff's, we let it dry out a little bit, and that actually it made it kind of hard to get the little pieces of the wood off, like just that top layer, like right there. You can see a little bit, you know, can zoom in on there. You know, you got this little bit right here. Well, if you scrape across her there, you know, you can get that little bit out. But, you know, with it being wet, we figured out this is much easier to do. So if you look, you can see like right here, that's fiberglass sticking up. You can see that there. You can see right here on this front edge too. This is fiberglass. So in between all the little, 6x6 pieces of wood here, you can see it's, 6x6 squares that are all just laid in there. It's not one solid piece. So in between those, you get some resin down in between there, and that's what this is, right? And so our fear has been, as we're using these scrapers, that you're gonna be going along and you're gonna end up, maybe you're going along down through here like this, and you get a piece and it rolls up and hits you in the hand. So of course, gloves, whatever, be safe, but pay attention for sure, because like you see right here, this is a 6-inch block right here. So we know we can get in here. We know they're gonna have a little bit of an edge there, and some of this you're gonna have to pry a little bit. But here is our suggestion, because we screwed up on Jeff's. When we were taking all of the wood off of Jeff's deck, we had a screwdriver that we were trying to pop underneath everything. And when we were doing that, it kept going straight, and it popped through the top. Luckily, because of all the years that we were in racing with fiberglass body panels on our race cars, my dad has a glue that it's a super glue. We would put it on there, and then you could just squirt an accelerator on it, and it flashes within 30 seconds. It's cured, and it's strong. So we were able to fix it that way for his. And we filled up some of the holes and stuff like that for his. But I think on this, we're going to do it a little bit different. Anywhere we got these holes right here, we're gonna have to look at, one here, one here, one here. Maybe we'll look at doing something a little different. Somebody showed putting taping wax paper for like cooking. Somebody showed putting that there, and that would fill the backside of the hole. So we'll check that out this time around, because, like we said, this is going to be a gigging boat, but I'm a little bougie at times. And I think that, we could make this a pretty nice boat, get some of that sea decking, or go right back over it with like a non-skid paint, and really make this thing nice, and do it for cheap, because we're doing the work ourselves, just like you guys can do. So we're going to keep scraping this, and we'll come back we'll probably call this an episode, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So we'll just say this is part 1, and we'll get the rest of this scraped off.